So I just finished watching Love is Blind 4, right? And I got some thoughts. So let's get into it. So I think I'm going to order from the couples that I love the most to the couples that I love the least. And I'll explain why. Then I'll talk about the individuals, the couples that didn't make it and the other people, etc., etc. So, of course, to no surprise, my favorite couple was Tiffany and Brett. Hands down, period, from jump. I knew before they even started to, set their storyline up. I was like, oh, they a match. They're around the same age. They got the same type of, energy. Yes. I think that they're genuine. I think that their love is true and real. You can see it translates nicely onto the camera, whereas the other couples, even some of the couples, I'll get into that later. But I don't really know if it's going to last because I'm just kind of I don't know if I see the chemistry. But also, it is cameras and this was like a 2-3 week experiment, et cetera, et cetera. So maybe now they still making it. It's probably straight, right? But Tiffany and Brett had, to me, the most genuine, true love story. I love Tiffany's bubbly energy. I love bougie Brett. I love how she kept calling him bougie Brett. That was so cute. But I really just love their energy. I love their love story. So, yeah, not really much to say about them. Didn't really have no negative feedback about them at all. Yeah, no. My second favorite couple is Chelsea and Kwame. Now, they grew on me because at first I was like, I could see that Chelsea really liked Kwame, but I wasn't convinced that Kwame felt the same way about her. And I felt like he was still stuck on Micah a little bit, but I also felt like they was kind of pushing that storyline. And they also mentioned that in the reunion, that was a storyline that the producers or whoever, the writers, directors was pushing. So maybe that's why I felt like they wasn't really, but I don't know. Afterward and even at the wedding, I was looking at it. I'm like, okay, I can see it. I think they rocking with each other. And then even at the reunion, it looks like they really very much so in love. I feel like they was cute. I like Chelsea's energy. I feel like she's a genuine person. You know what I'm saying? I feel like she's just true to herself. And you can tell she really loved that man. You can tell. And then Kwame, I feel like he a cool dude. He maybe struggled with identity a little bit. Which he touched on when he talked about why he was going to use a different name and then decided nah, I'm going to use the name that my mama gave me type shit. But he also mentioned that he always felt like he had to overcompensate, to prove to people I'm smart. I have a master's degree, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, I don't know. I think that they bring out good qualities within each other. So I really like them. I really feel like they got good energy. I like them as a couple. Bliss and Zach. So that's my third favorite couple. Let's get into it. I think they're the odd couple. They're quirky. You know what I'm saying? They are kind of nerdy, which I think is what they click on. The song that they related on was beautiful. It made me cry. It made me tear up because that's such a beautiful song. I feel like both of their stories are unique and but different. And that's probably that brings them together on some opposites attract type stuff. Part 2. But yeah, I really think Bliss and Zach have a good energy. Now, I will say this. Bliss is a sweet girl, and I think Zach is sweet too. And I do feel like they do have a genuine connection and a genuine chemistry. And I will give props to Bliss because that was brave for her accepting him back after he essentially chose somebody else. But I also feel like she was smart enough to know that it was an experiment, so she didn't put too much pressure on the fact that he chose somebody else first. Because at the end of the day, I was dating multiple people in a short amount of time, and you had to make a quick decision, and you didn't even meet anybody, get to feel their energy. So I get it. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? People might call her goofy, may call her stupid, but whatever. She got her man and they happily, and I like it. And let me tell you something else. Bliss a good one because the way she handled the situation with Irina, much class, much grace. Because I probably would have snapped off too. Girl, you could bag back. Nah, you good. What? Because what do you mean? Oh, can I have one of your candles? Girl, that's my man. I would have instantly told her nah, you good, shorty. And it wouldn't have had to been no words said after that. It wouldn't even been nothing else. Cause I would have she would have knew not to talk to me, not to try me. Cause I would have looked at her yeah, don't make me get kicked off this show, G. But yeah, I guess those are my couples in order from first to last. So now let's get into the individuals. Okay. Now listen, I don't care what none of y'all say, G. Jackie, my favorite. I like Jackie. Period. Y'all all in her comments. It was trash. It's filth the way y'all coming at these people y'all know them, they stole y'all dog or something, they shot y'all mama in the head. I'm confused. It's really just TV, G. Y'all know that, right? Y'all know it's just TV, right? I seen this comment. I commented on one of her last pictures on this one girl because she was like, you need to go to hell. The way you treated Marshall, yada, yada, yada. Bro, you're going to send her and condemn her to hell because of a TV show? Y'all act like she pushed this man down the stairs. Okay, yeah, she probably hurt his feelings, but Come on now. That's a grown man. He is gonna be all right. He said on the show, I'm good. Y'all can leave us alone, G. Like, I moved on, she's moved on. But anyway, I just felt like they really tried to paint this narrative of Jackie that she was just this mean girl, that yada, yada, yada. But honestly, they just didn't click. Anybody with eyes could see that they didn't click. They was bothering me the whole time because I'm like, gee, y'all don't match. She too feisty and he's too sensitive. It's not going to work. So when she finally decided like, nah, gee, I'm good on this, I was clapping. I'm like, thank you. Because girl, you know you don't like him for real. She tried her best to make it work. That's what y'all saw. Y'all saw a frustrated woman trying to make something work that she knew in her heart didn't work, G. Like, and y'all mad at her because she told him the truth? Would y'all rather her got to the aisle and got to the altar and then said no? Like, we already know it was a no, G. Like, y'all mad at Jackie because she was just too real. And that's what it is. People in this world don't like real people. And Jackie just a real bitch, period. Team Jackie all day. And last thing I'm going to say about Jackie, because I just wanted to mention that she ended up with Josh, which I feel like, I mean, we saw negative things, but we barely saw him in the show. And I feel like, once again, they wanted to paint a narrative of him. So I can't really say that he was this type of person or he was that type of person. I didn't really see much of him. But all I know is they clearly worked it out and they happy. So I'm happy for them. Go Team Jackie and Team Josh. J&J, period, all day. All right, anyway, enough of them. So my second favorite person on this show was Paul. I really liked Paul from jump. As soon as he mentioned he was from New Orleans, I'm like, oh, he got soul. He a spicy white. You know us black folk, we love us some spicy whites. And also when he was vibing with Amber and he was like, oh yeah, you know, like the stone, I'm in the crystals. I was like, oh, he in tune. Well, of course, he from New Orleans. But I like Paul. I think he's sweet. He's a little bit of a like straight and narrow, I feel like, kind of person. Not necessarily with his mindset, but just kind of like, they kept talking about how logical he was. So I feel like that's probably why it didn't work with him and Micah. Speaking of Micah, let's move on to her. So Micah was my third favorite person because I felt like she was very sweet. I feel that she was a genuine person. She had a good energy to her, very bubbly, very warm, very open. She was very playful, very glamorous, and I just knew that wasn't going to really work for her, too. I felt like she was settling with Paul because he was a good dude. And yes, Shelby, her friend, delivery was off. She was kind of irritating me, but at the same time, I respected it because she was like, as your friend, G, this is not it. This is not the one. And I respect the friend that's going to come to their friend like, nah, G, I know you, and this is not it. Now, her delivery could have been a little bit better, but I also can't fault her for that because that takes skill. You know what I'm saying? Like, it takes skill to be able to express yourself openly and honestly without being aggressive or abrasive. And at the same time, she just was looking out for her friend. Like, I knew she wasn't trying to come at him. I knew she wasn't on no hate and stuff. I just knew she felt the vibe and it was off. And I through the TV, I felt the vibe and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about them. Like, I mean, they cute and all, but to get married, I don't know. It's not giving. She needs somebody that's a little more confident than Paul, and she needs somebody that's a little bit more, I don't want to say put together like Paul wasn't, but I just mean, you know, somebody that wears suits, that has $100, $200, $300, $400, $500 cologne sitting on their desk, or, you know what I'm saying, like Gucci belts. Not saying it's about designer, but she obviously is somebody that needs that within her life because that's what she is. So I feel like her getting somebody that's from the swamp who don't care about what he throw on is not gonna really match with somebody who real life go out of their way to make fashion statements. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, I like Micah. She was sweet. Okay, now on to my two least favorite characters on this season. I'm sorry, y'all. Marshall and Irina. Like, Marshall, he's a nice guy. He's my least favorite character, not because I dislike him as a person. I think he's a great person. I think he's going to be a great husband to whoever he ends up with, man or woman, if you get my drift. And I'm not accusing him of being homosexual. And even if he is gay, it's not a problem. I'm just saying, like, he definitely is giving me those kind of vibes. And I don't condone her saying he's sweet or whatever, because I know that that's a derogatory term towards that community. But I am extremely keen on gaydar. Like, my gaydar has been on point since I was a child. I'm not kidding about this. Like, I knew people was gay before they knew they was gay growing up. Like, I always had friends that was in the closet that would low-key be they self around me, and later on they ended up becoming gay, or ended up not even becoming gay, but ended up accepting their homosexuality or their lifestyle. And it's because I always allow people to be themselves. So when I say this is not no judgment. This is just something that I know in my soul. I know a gay man when I see one, and he's definitely gay. And it's not even just because he was crying a lot on the show and being sensitive. Like, that don't make you gay. It's just that he's gay, period. Like, I think that he's battling with his sexuality. And I feel like when she said that, that's what triggered him and made him leave the crib for 3 days. If you're not gay, it wouldn't have pissed you off that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing you could say to me that I know is not true that's going to make me that mad. But if you're going to say something to me that I'm already battling with, yes, I'm going to be triggered. That's why it's triggering. So I just feel like he just was kind of annoying me the whole show, because he was trying too hard and like really doing his best, but it was like, it was fake. It was something about it that was just not genuine. And I knew she felt it too. That's why she was off. And y'all want to get mad at her because of her reaction, when in reality, like, she just knew it wasn't right. And he was trying to make it right. And I get it, because that's what he came on the show for. But like, nah, G, it's something off. Like, it's something not quite right with him. Not in a negative way either. Like, just in a genuine, like, I didn't see the connection. And then she's like, we don't have sex. Like, did you see her? She's gorgeous. And he talking about some, what do you do for me? What do you do for me? I'm sorry. When my man comes around me, G, he's around me for 0.5 seconds before he's trying to rip my clothes off. And I'm not saying that that's good or bad. I'm just saying, like, a man that wants it is gonna, like, he's gonna show you he wants it. And as a woman, I'm not gonna try to initiate sex. Like, I'm just not comfortable doing that. I mean, I can do that, and I have done that. But for the most part, my man makes sure that we get started. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's a natural way for me and others, but she probably needs a more dominant man. Marshall just wasn't that dominant man, and that's just what it is. He's not a bad guy, but he just wasn't dominant. And then finally, my least favorite character on the show, which I'm sure is everybody's least favorite character, Irina. Like, you're lame. You're a loser. I'm sorry. And I don't even like to talk to people like this, especially people I don't know on a TV show. Like, I was literally just going off because people was getting on Jackie. But like, it's just lame to me that, and I think Shorty brought it up, the host, I forget her name, the Lachey lady. She brought it up. She was like, you know, you were talking about how you got bullied for your acne, and then you kind of became the bully. I just don't got no respect for people like that, because it's one thing to be a bully. Like, already being a bully is lame, because it's really just showing how insecure you are as a person. Because I'm not saying it makes it okay for bullies who have never been bullied to bully, but in a sense, they're more ignorant. So it's like, not saying I'm giving them an excuse, but I understand it more, because you don't know what it feels like to not be the prettiest girl in school, or you don't know what it feels like to not be the strongest man. So like, you feel like you got an upper hand on people, and maybe you just weren't trained right at home, or maybe you just got a bad attitude because you ain't been humbled by life yet. So that's why you're bullying. You don't know better. Those types of bullies, I understand more than bullies like her, whereas like, you were literally the one that was picked on, and now you in a crib where you supposed to be focusing on love, but you being a mean girl, and you 35, however old she is, bro, 25, whatever. You 42 and you acting like you 12, G. That's lame to me. And then I'm glad Bliss kind of called her out, because she was steady talking about, oh, I was having a panic attack. Bro, you weren't having no damn panic attack, G. I know what a panic attack looked like, and that's not it. And then what really blew me was the shiesty stuff that she did to Micah with Paul. Like, you feeling on Paul, and Micah is your friend. And I know y'all just met in this experiment, so it's like whatever. But G, you actually grimy. Like, you really, and that's why I'm glad Zach called her out. Like, G, you came on this show to be famous. Let's call a spade a spade. Like, you came on this show literally to be famous. Like, you came on here. And it literally reminded me, like, she looked like Snooki and them from Jersey Shore. Or she should have been on Bad Girls Club, because that's the energy she was giving. Like, I'm like, is she on Love and Hip Hop, or is she on Love is Blind? Like, which one is it? Do you know? But live it up, Miss Irina, because your little 15 minutes of fame is almost up. So I hope you start a clothing line or something, or get a shirt that say Mean Girls, because that's your brand now. Congrats. Hope you enjoyed yourself.